Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at this little fella right here, Traitor Mechanic, the Traitor Mechanic game from Dice Hate Me Games and Greater Than Games. So this is in their line of games that are named for their dominant mechanism that's used within. They also had another one called Deck Building, the Deck Builder, the Deck Building game or something to that effect. And so this is another one in that same line of, haha, see what I did there, kind of named games. So this one is a Traitor game where everybody except one person is going to be trying to work together, so it's semi-cooperative. You're trying to complete jobs. Unless you're the traitor, you're trying to get the shop to run out of money. So let's get down to the table. I'll show you how it works. So in a game of Traitor Mechanic, the Traitor Mechanic game, guess what there is at the forefront? Yes, you guessed it correctly, a Traitor Mechanic. So this game plays from anywhere from 4 to 10 players, and so I have a real basic game here set up for you, a 4-player game, and basically out of these 4 players, one of them is a traitor, and he or she will have a card that looks like this in front of them, and the other side looks like this. They are a Traitor Mechanic. Look at that. And then the rest of them will also have their roll cards, but they will have this picture on the other side showing that they are a mechanic and not a traitor. So the general point of the whole game is this. Quite simply, we are trying to get 3 jobs accomplished from the job deck, and the traitor is trying to get the shop to run out of money. If the shop ever runs out of money, then the traitor wins. As soon as the 3 jobs are successfully completed from the job deck, all of the mechanics win. Now, when you go into a game, this is what a job is going to look like. This is the reward that the shop will get for successfully completing this job. This is the money that the shop will lose if they don't complete the job. The different parts that are necessary for the job are down here, and these are represented by the different cards that are in each player's hand. So they have different kinds of part cards in their hand like so. So for this job, only 2 windows are necessary. You can have any number of headlights. You need at least 4 belts, but you can have more. And we don't need any tires. So if 1 tire shows up on this job, then we fail and we lose the money. Now, on top of that, there are also other kinds of parts that are called expensive parts. And you can use this, for example, 1 card of this will stand for 2 windows. But if we fail the job, this is an extra $20 that the shop will lose in addition to what's here. So you have to use these very carefully. There are also other kinds of cards out there that will help them earn more money, and that is these Service with a Smile cards. And whenever you play a card like this into a job, then that will be worth an extra $20 if the job is successfully completed. So the game basically takes place over a number of rounds, and those rounds are split up into different phases. The first phase is accepting the job. So the boss, which is going to change from time to time, will draw the top card of the job deck and look at it, and then decide whether or not he's going to have the group go for this one or do another one. If he chooses to do this one, then he just simply puts it face up and we choose how many cards we're going to play. We go to another phase. However, if he says, you know what, I don't think that's a good one, it's going to be discarded face down without anybody else looking at it. And then the boss will switch over to the next person and then they will do the same thing. Now, if they choose to do that, they have to pay $20 from the shop to the bank, which means that we're losing money before we even actually start a job. So it really has to be a pretty solid decision not to do something like that. But we'll just say that the boss says, you know what, we're going to go ahead and give this a whirl. So he plays it out there face up so that everybody can see the job and the requirements that are necessary for it. Then we go to phase 2, which is called Get to Work. Now, there are a number of different things that you can do during the Get to Work phase. You actually have 3 available options to you, with the boss having a 4th available option. The boss can give somebody a day off. So basically, if you have a good idea, or at least you have a hunch as to who the traitor might be, you might give them the day off and say, you know what, you're not going to play on this job. So that's a 4th opportunity. The other 3 opportunities that everybody has at their disposal is, first of all, working, which is taking cards from your hand and laying them face down. You can lay a minimum of 2 cards face down, but you can play as many as you'd like. So maybe you want to be careful with this, and you can tell everybody, hey, I've got the windshields taken care of. Now, you can say any kind of information about the cards in your hand, but you can never show the cards that you have in your hand to anybody else. And you can lie as much as you want or as little as you want. It really doesn't matter. So he says, okay, I've got the windows taken care of, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a headlight in there too. And that's all he's going to play. And then the next person looks at their cards and says, you know, okay, well, let's see here. We are a mechanic, so, well, we definitely, I'm going to go ahead and say, I've got 3 belts, no worries, and I'm going to throw in another headlight as well. Then this person over here, who is also a mechanic, will say, okay, I've got the other belt and a service with a smile, and that's all I'm going to play. And then this person over here, who is the traitor, will say, all right, well, we've got everything. That's good. I'm going to play, let's see here. I'm going to play another 2 belts because I think we've got this, and then I'm gonna get rid of one of my headlights too. But before we go to phase 3, the other 2 actions that you can do on your turn are, first of all, you can remove someone from the job. So you choose a player who has already placed cards face down, and you say, you know what? No, we're not gonna have you be part of this job. But in order to do that, you are foregoing playing any cards of yourself. So it pretty much has to be a pretty set in stone thing that you know where someone is as the traitor. The other thing that you can do is, instead of playing cards from your hand, you can ask the boss for outside help. And if the boss says, yes, go ahead and do it, that person would draw 3 cards from the top of the pile and then play 2 of them as cards that they have done, and then put the 3rd one into their hand. That is also instead of playing cards from your hand. So you wouldn't be able to do both. But once everybody has played, or worked rather, on the job, then customer inspection happens, where all of the cards are taken that were played, like so, and they are shuffled. And then they're placed out here. Okay, so we have 2 of those guys. All right, we got 3. We need at least 1 more. We got a windshield. That's good. That's what we need. Ooh, a service with a smile. That's bonus. All right, that's our 2nd windshield. We're doing good. And there's a headlight. We didn't actually need that, but that's okay. Oh, somebody messed us up. So we continue doing this and that. All right, so with this one, we didn't get any tires, which is good. We have at least 4 belts, which is good. This is all right. It's not hurting us. But this over here, we could only have at most 2. We had to have exactly 2. So this extra one is actually making us fail. So this card doesn't do us any good. We're going to lose $60. So we're going to take the 100 and put 40 in here as change. But then these expensive parts, the customer didn't like it. We failed. So that's an extra 20, 40 bucks that we have to lose. So we had to lose $100 altogether We only start with 150. That is not a good job. And so the Traitor is doing a good job. These guys actually come over here for a discard pile, and then everybody draws replacements, and we continue playing. And that's how the game plays, with the game ending, as I said before, with the mechanics winning, having successfully completed 3 jobs, or the Traitor winning by the shop running out of money like so. And that's how you play. So that is Traitor Mechanic, the Traitor Mechanic game. Again, really dumb name, but I guess it's kind of interesting in a way to have a whole bunch of mechanics who are working in a car shop, and most of them want the shop to succeed, and there's one who's maybe a disgruntled employee who doesn't necessarily want that to be the case. I found that the gameplay in this one was actually pretty fun, even as tongue-in-cheek as it was. I think it holds its own with some very similar games that are out there, as far as as far as the voting mechanism in BSG, Battlestar Galactica, where everybody's playing cards face down and then you turn them over. It gave me that same kind of vibe. It felt a lot like Resistance, where you're trying to figure out how who that traitor is, and who is trying to tank the different kinds of things, and being able to talk about the cards that you're playing is an interesting dynamic, simply because you really have to be able to read the people that are in the game, whether or not they're lying. You're looking for those tells that might let you in that they are actually lying, or maybe they're telling the truth, whatever that might be. So if you're especially good at reading people that way, then you'll probably do better at this game than others. But that's not really the point. We're just having fun, right? So that is actually a pretty cool thing. You can play the game as straight as you possibly want to, not lie at all, or you can lie your pants off. It really doesn't matter either way as far as the game's concerned, especially if you're the Traitor. You're going to have to do that from time to time. Or you can be kind of you can fudge the truth a little bit there. That's when I was playing one time as the Traitor. That's exactly what I did. I said I was playing 2 belt cards, but one of them was a double belt card. So I kind of told the truth, but not really. So that's the kind of thing that you can do. Being the boss and having that extra ability of giving somebody the day off, that's an interesting thing as well, because it gives you another thing to think about. Now, you are choosing to do that instead of helping your shop take care of that job. So that's another thing you have to weigh in on as well. I also liked the freedom of anybody being able to basically say, you know what, you're not taking part in this job because I'm not too sure that you're not the Traitor. But again, there's that tension. Do I want to do that, or do I want to try to play cards to make sure that we get in and get that job completed? So there's a give and go that's there that I thought was really interesting. Now, at the end of the day, this is just still a very light, simple Traitor mechanism game, where that's all that's really there. That's the only tension that's really there. Making sure that you get the jobs is pretty simple. Fulfilling all of the different part requirements of each job, that's easy, actually. The thing that throws a loop in it is the fact that one of you is not working for the same team, so to speak. So there is interest here. Is it going to blow your socks off? Probably not, as far as, just being a game that's like, wow, I've got to have this. But it does, I think, make an interesting little filler game for in between 2 larger games. It plays in about 20 minutes, maybe 30 tops. But it's a really interesting game, and the tongue-in-cheek nature of it really kind of belies that, because I almost wrote this game off. I almost was like, man, I don't even want to play that game, because it's just one of those tongue-in-cheek named games again. It's just like, ha ha ha, look what I did. But it actually works really well. It's fun. So with all that being said, I think I'm going to give this 1 thumb up for it's a good filler game with a Traitor mechanism in it. So if you have kind of maybe a themed game night or something like that, this would fit well into a couple of other, maybe Right Before Shadows of Camelot, or something like that. It's just a neat little filler Traitor mechanism game. So that's that. We'll see you guys on the flip side.